Talk about some of the scams that are out there, including how about this one? What a scam that when you're using your fitness app, we're all using these apps now. I mean, how will I know how many steps I have had if I don't have my fitness app? So how are they going to scam me with my fitness app? We'll find out. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning. So, exactly what you just said. Everybody's using these fitness apps. Well, guess what? The scammers know that too. So, they are either one step ahead of us, I think. And maybe you haven't heard of these scams, but they exist, and we've had some reported to us. So people have been exposed to significant financial loss as a result of fraudsters taking advantage of the tight-knit community that these apps foster. So it's a lot like a romance scam where they build a rapport with someone online, and then move in to take their money or their identity. So these apps, they provide more than just a way to keep track of physical activity, and they've developed into social networking sites with interactive features, and it lets us connect with friends and other fitness enthusiasts. It's a sense of community about good health and wellness objectives. So the camaraderie's turned into a haven for these con artists, and they're using methods frequently used, as I said, with romance fraud to prey on gullible victims. And I hate to say
Wow.
they're gullible victims because that almost puts the blame on them.
Right.
It's not the victim's fault. It's a crime against them.
No, exactly. And a lot of times, Nancy, when you call in, of course, they go, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." My my fitness app. This is one that it never in a million years would I have thought. Well, somebody can scam me on my
Yeah.
fitness app. How do they pull this off?
Well, they begin innocently. The app user joins a fitness group and they might get cordial messages from other group members. Initial discussions are focused around the fitness objectives, but over time, the topic gradually shifts to something more personal. In order to establish trust and create what appears to be a genuine connection, scammers
Yeah.
ask for information about the user's family, place of employment, get to know the user. After creating a bond, the scammers start sharing fake personal stories about themselves. So we had a report about someone that claimed they were a single dad working overseas to provide for his daughter. And this victim really believed him. And of course, they needed money. They sent them money, and then he continued to ask for money. And when they refused to send more, he threatened them and his family. Now they're out. Hold on, $100,000.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be near impossible to get this back.
Yeah.
And so this is why it's so similar to the romance scams. They connect, and then they build this relationship. You think you know them. They have a story that's pulling on your heartstrings, and next thing you know, you're out $100,000 and they disappear. So,
Wow.
what are
This
the
is
signs of this? They move fast.
But that's interesting because you just said so they move fast. But that's what I was just thinking, Nancy. On this one, it's like they're grooming you. So this one, it would seem to me, would take a little bit longer because they've got to infiltrate my group, and I think you're just another fitness enthusiast. And then you start to tell me some personal details, and I feel like we're friends. And then you start to hit me up. But you're saying they move pretty fast on this.
Well, I'm saying they move pretty fast into a personal kind of
Mm.
relationship. Okay, they begin to ask personal questions quickly. So first you have the fitness goals in common. Next thing you know, they're asking you if you're married and where you work and things like that, and which would be normal if you met someone in person, but you don't know who this person is or where they are. So they'll come up with some emotional stories. They've got a sick elderly parent or a child needing medical care. This sounds so much like the romance app. And then they'll give you specific instructions. When they ask for financial help, guess what they're going to ask for? They're going to ask for you to wire money, use prepaid debit cards, or, in some cases, cryptocurrency. Why? Because that stuff can't be traced and can't be refunded. So they'll ask you to communicate differently. They'll ask you to get off the app and talk on your cell phone or some other method outside of the app. So this is so similar to the romance scams. Our advice is don't post a picture of yourself in your profile on the app. Use an avatar or free stock photo to avoid the scammers targeting certain groups such as seniors. And don't share personal information, your marital status, your employment, or anything like that with a stranger. The more the scammer knows about you, the more information they have to manipulate you out of your identity and your money. And think twice before, or maybe 3 or 4 times before accepting a request from strangers. Being part of a community is rewarding, but it can be dangerous. And we see over and over again how this happens. And don't click on unsolicited links. So they could send you something, includes malware. It leads to them collecting personally identifiable information about your probably your mobile device or your computer. And if you think there's something like this is starting to happen to you and you're wondering about it, share it with your family or a close friend. Talk to somebody about it. Usually when people talk to a close friend or a family member, it really shines a light on what's happening there. And they go, yeah, you're right. It really doesn't sound on the up and up. Rather than just being, caught up in the moment and you've met someone, you have so much in common. Take a step back and talk about this with someone you trust.
Yeah, this one is just really wild to me, and all I can think of, Nancy, too, is the fact that in this day and age where people make these fast friends, people that they have never met, but they become so emotionally involved with them, such great friends with them, just over the internet, just over these conversations through different websites or apps or on Facebook or whatever, social media. And what a different world. So this isn't strange to a lot of people. It's interesting that they, as always, tend to try and prey on seniors, because in some ways I would think seniors would be the ones where, well, I don't really know this person, but nope, we all get sucked in now through these relationships we think we have on social media with people we never even met before.
Right. When you think about it, seniors oftentimes, they could be alone, they could be widowed or widower, and they have had time to amass some money, so they have more money to lose, and they could be lonely. So think about that. If you have seniors in your life that live alone, check in on them, and you might find out that there's something going on there, and you could prevent it.
Nancy, really interesting. I mean, this is one that I think a lot of people are like, boy, I never would have thought of that. They're just scammers are everywhere. How do we protect ourselves? What's the best sites for us? BBB.org still the number one site to kind of hook up, get all this information.
BBB.org. There's tons of information on BBB.org 24/7. If you want to talk to someone, call me and I will connect you with the right individual that can give you the information you need. My direct line is 508-552-0350. And if something seems a little off, check it out on bbb.org/scam tracker. Or if you've been targeted with a scam, report it there, and that helps warn other people about what's happening out there.
Very good. Nancy Cahalen, Better Business Bureau of Central Massachusetts. Thank you so much. Appreciate your being with us.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me on.